for these trolls.
I don't know what they trolling for. I'm getting ready to make this video. Hey guys, but let me just say this because we're in here. I'm getting ready to make this video because I'm tired. I'm tired of us, and I'm tired of the comments of
Yes.
us. But we don't have anything. We always want to rep for everybody else, but then when it comes down to us and what's happening in our own backyards, it's cricket. So I'm gonna talk about that. But anyway, hey everybody.
Hey everybody.
Hi,
So
everybody.
this is Famous Friday. It's slow. So the new Famous Friday layout
Out.
clearly is picking times that are convenient for everybody because and I think that's dope. And then if people get off at usually look at 6 o'clock, they can look at it at 6 o'clock, but it's already here live. Great, great, great.
Mhm.
Since it is early, I'm going to read your bio probably about 3 times through this just so people can know who you are,
Awesome.
who's coming in late, because clearly we have a late vibe in us. And I thought it was just black people, but no, it's all people.
It's everybody.
Yes,
Yeah,
everybody.
so yeah, it's everybody. So this is Famous Friday. This is my show with Danielle and Miss Jessica when Miss Jessica can make it. Shout out to Miss Jessica for putting this show together for me and pushing it. So shout out to you, Miss Jessica. And today we have the lovely Christian Maxwell.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Christian Maxwell is a business leader, community advocate, and devoted mother running for U.S. Congress in Illinois 1st District. A graduate of the University of Illinois at Chicago, UIC. Christian brings real-world experience to the race through her work as an entrepreneur and consultant, helping families and small businesses navigate economic challenges. She is the wife of a law enforcement officer and a mother of 4. Roles that deeply shape her views on public safety, education, and family stability. Christian is not a career politician. She is running
That's what
Yeah,
it's gonna
regular
take.
people need to go to Congress. Regular people.
regular people.
Yes.
She is running to challenge one-party rule, restore accountability in government, and fight for policies that put working families, not special interests, first. Her campaign focuses on safer communities, economic opportunity, parental rights in education, responsible immigration policy, and transparency at every level of government. All right.
Yeah.
So, Christian Maxwell, first of all, thank you for taking the time to come on.
Yeah.
No, thanks
And
for having me.
do you currently homeschool your kids now?
I do. All the schools around me are like at 2 ratings. So I actually looked into them because I wanted to re-enroll them. And I honestly can't because most of the schools, as far as like the literacy rates and the attendance rates, are incredibly bad. So I don't have a choice right now. I actually have to continue to homeschool until I get into a different area.
Wow.
And Christian is going against Jonathan Jackson.
Yep.
So
No
let's just
good
make it.
Jonathan
Yeah.
Jackson, part of the
Yes.
no good Jackson family.
And
Okay. And his terrible daddy.
unproductive. Very unproductive family.
Yeah. So we're definitely coming for all. We told you all we were coming for these seats.
Yeah.
Right.
And and so that's what we are doing. So again, I just wanted to put that out there. But yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, and I personally have protested Rainbow Push a few times and ran
They
into
need that.
Yeah,
Jonathan
we have.
Jackson. Yeah, we have because there is time. It's time. Like
It is. It is.
um,
Rainbow Push is a very unproductive nonprofit. When you look at what they're actually doing for the community, I'm like, where is the footprint? Besides a bunch of activism, it's just basically another arm for them to push their political thoughts, but it's not really a productive nonprofit that helps the community around it.
Exactly.
At all.
Exactly.
Like at all. Just them. It helps the Jackson family.
Oh yeah, they can funnel money through it, but
Yeah.
other than that, it's like it's not really helping the community because you would see the impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no impact at all. As a matter of fact, I really want Trump to come and shut Rainbow Push down.
Mhm.
If
So I
more
pray
stuff
every
keeps
day.
coming out about them with how Pritzker, I'm still looking for, I want to see if anybody has receipts for or proof of that payment that Pritzker did to Rainbow Push. I would love to see it. Because
Mhm.
I did hear there's whispers about a significant amount of funding. It was like 9.1 million that
Yeah,
got
you
pushed
know it.
to
You
Rainbow
know
Push.
it.
And it's like, that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
That's a lot of
you
money.
know it.
Yeah.
Well, don't Jesse Jackson. What do he charge Zoe for you to stand with you?
Well, 50,000. 50,000.
50,000 just to stand with you. Yeah.
For
So we
15,
don't.
depending on the press conference, about 15, 20,000.
Are
If
you
you want him
serious?
to stand with you and do a protest like CTU paid him
Wait,
50,000.
so
Yeah.
anytime he's at a press conference, people
Oh
paid for
yeah,
that?
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. He
Yeah.
ain't doing nothing for free.
Al Sharpton, yeah, all of them.
Messy
Those are.
Jesse not
Yeah.
doing nothing for free
And
now.
see, I just thought they were there because they just love being present at this stuff. So no, they're getting paid to stand at these
Oh no,
podiums
they
and
get
act like
paid.
they
This
care.
is all we're in one big
Cabal. Don't you call it a cabal?
democratic
Mhm.
theatrics, and they pulling us
All
in something that we
monetized.
don't. I don't want to be a part of it anymore.
No.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't
it's
want to be
all
a part.
monetized pay for play. And
Yeah.
it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Mhm.
All right. What specifically sets you apart from other candidates running in this primary?
Well, so in the primary, I'm set apart from Marcus Lewis because I haven't lost. I haven't lost when I ran 9 times in a row. He's ran 9 times and lost. As far
As
as
a
Marcus,
Republican?
yeah, well, he's ran as a Democrat and a Republican and lost 9 times.
Nine
Mm.
times. Damn.
Yeah, it's staggering. It's up there really high. But if I'm looking at both of both the people I'm running against, Jonathan and Marcus, there's just a profound disconnect from the real issues that families in Chicago are facing. For one, I don't think Marcus has any like young children, so he doesn't know what's happening to parents of young kids as far as getting drained of all their resources with private school or having to go live somewhere that's super expensive to get into a good school district. You don't understand that. It's like you don't understand the safety issues and concerns that people in the city have. Like I technically live on a decent block, but somebody, literally shot at my building a couple weeks ago, and the person next door to me had their garage broken into, and now we have to have police on the block pretty consistently just to keep the block safe. It's like this, people are working as hard as they can. Like my husband has a really good job, and it's like in Illinois, that doesn't matter. You could have a good 6-figure job and basically be eating off of like 50 to 60,000 of it because Illinois is going to, take a
Yep.
massive amount of the money that you're getting between your pre-tax, they're getting money pre-tax, but then everywhere you go, there's like 3, 4, 5 taxes on your receipts. And I think that for the candidates who are running and they are not paying attention to that, it's like that we can't spend time on those candidates because we really do need to focus on the real issues that real people are facing every single day.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. And you know what? That's what I like about you and, organic people, because that's my thing. I don't want nobody telling me who don't have lived experience. You don't come from where I come. You don't even, me and your experiences are not the same. We are not the same. So what you are telling me, like Prisker and Jonathan, what you were telling me, what my experiences are, you don't experience that because you got money for your police detail, you got money for security. You don't live where we live at. You're not going through the things we're going through. You got money to pay for a great school for your kids, so all of these things. So what made you say, hey, I want to run? What made you do that? Say that I gotta run. I gotta get in this race.
I didn't say it because I would have never initiated this. I didn't think regular people ran for office. I thought you had to be a lawyer or something like that beforehand. That's what I assumed everybody was. But people kept commenting it on TikTok. So, I started off on TikTok and I kept seeing people say like, you should run for office. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that because I don't consider myself to be a palatable person. Like I really do say what I think and I don't really care much about who it offends. My husband has been trying to help me with that.
Yeah,
but
real people, we real people.
Yeah, I just say that's why I tell people all the time, I have no issue with people not voting for me because they don't like what I stand for. I'm fine with that. But when I decided to run for office literally came about because people asked me to run over and over and over again on TikTok. And at a certain point I was like, you know what? I looked into it and I was like, well, I'm just gonna try it. And I
Mm.
just trusted God to like guide me through step by step. I started in April of last year, and it took so much research for me to figure out how to do this, because I reached out to some people in the party and they never got back to me. So I had to literally research on my own how to run for office, and was able to figure out all the FEC filings and all of that stuff on my own. And people usually pay lawyers like thousands of dollars to do just that part.
Yep.
And I pulled it off on my own, and it just came together one step at a time. But I'm telling you, I literally have to wake up every day and just trust God to guide me on what I'm supposed to be doing that day, because there's no blueprint for running as a Republican in a state like Illinois. There's no blueprint, there's no resources. Like people don't even know. I mean, people don't know how to win in this state, much less really run an efficient race that's incorporating digital marketing and grassroots. So most people don't even want to volunteer. As you all know, people don't even want to come to the city. People are scared to come to the city. So most Republicans don't even come here.
Your district, where it, how like, what are the counties, or like, what's your district?
I have 3 counties. We have Cook County, Will County, and then a little bit of Kankakee County because of how it's gerrymandered. So the Will County is where the bulk of the Republicans are, and I think a lot of people don't realize how many Republicans actually are in
Will County.
Yeah, in Will County, like a good amount of the Will County, like the Homer Glen, Frankfort, Mokina, Manhattan, Manteno, like those are all very much so red, cities and towns of the district. And then when you look at the Chicago part, I know everybody's like, well, Chicago is, pure Democrats. And it's like, it is. But also the population in Chicago is, people are moving out of Chicago. So it's like counting on Chicago to pull through an election in Congressional District 1, the Democratic majority has been decreasing. Like if you look at how many, votes they're getting and what percentage it is, that's been going down.
Yes.
And it's because of out migration from Chicago. And then it's also just because people don't care. A lot of young people aren't even coming out to vote for Democrats.
Yes.
Right.
So I'm not just counting on people coming to vote for me. I know for a fact that people are not going to come out to vote for Jonathan Jackson. Why
we got a Will County Republican in the house.
Yes, Will County. Yes, yes.
No, I mean, if you think about it, what is Jonathan Jackson that's going to motivate people to come out and vote for him?
Nothing.
He's not talking to young people. He's not relatable. The only time he actually speaks is when he has these very much so stiff little, speeches that have been written for him. I'm like, that doesn't relate to anybody. I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican. Socialists definitely don't like him because they feel like he's a part of the Democratic cabal,
he's not extreme enough. Like they don't. He's not they don't.
So he's like, to be honest,
it's just name recognition.
That's
it's name recognition. You're absolutely right.
Older Black people, I love them. They are so loyal. But it's like, hey, it's time for you all to look out for your retirements. It's time for you to look out for your property values. It's time for you to vote for you, because they've done their part for people like Jonathan Jackson. Jonathan Jackson has not returned the favor at all.
At all. He doesn't know how. Like, even when I protested Rainbow Push, there's videos that and he just looks dumbfounded. Like he don't know what. Like, this ain't never happened. Like, I ain't never think nobody was gonna, protest us. Like, I mean, I got close to him and like asked him, like, why are you a COON? Like, why? You understand what I'm saying? Like, why is your family continue to keep us like down? You understand what I'm saying? Like, and y'all think this is okay? So yeah, it's time for a new person, and I think that is why you got power. You got power, Christian, and you got power, and that's scary to Chicago. It's scary to Illinois. It's scary to these black elites. Because you also are a college graduate. You also, you understand what I'm saying?
They can't tell any of the stories they want to tell about me.
Yeah. You're everything that you're supposed to be on their side.
Yeah. Oh, no, she don't, because she's married. She's for family. She has a great education.
Yeah, I don't downplay my husband, and
her husband is first. So no, she's So they want you to be an independent, strong Black woman, because that's
feminist, single mother for.
Yeah. You don't need no man, or the man is sassy, or the man can, a man
Yeah.
can be a woman,
Can't lead.
Yeah,
Can't
yeah,
have no husband to lead now.
yeah.
Lead.
I need my husband to lead. He is, when I tell you, I'm like, you all, here's the thing. People are getting a double bang for their buck because he provides so much structure just for you all. As you all can see, I'm very creative. I've grown so much in life because of my husband's presence. He's a very steady force in my life and has provided so much structure and just like development for me as an individual. Like I can't begin to understand or even fathom who I would have been if it wasn't for meeting my husband. So I'm like, I think for more modern Black people who are going back to that more traditional family setup, I think for those people, they're going to resonate, to this because they have, solid families. They are living a decent life out in the suburbs, the south suburbs. They do want to see Illinois prosper, but the loudmouth kind of, Black people who are used to, liking the chaos of the Democratic Party, I'm not counting on trying to get them over to our side because they're so sold out to dysfunction. And I'm like, I reject dysfunction. I want to see our communities thriving. I hate that all of the businesses in our communities are closed. Like there's so many blocks with just closed business after closed business after closed business. And some of these businesses are historical business, like people, a corner store that's been there for like multiple generations, or a laundromat that was there forever and now it's gone. It's like if you go to
we're losing our cleaners too. Like our Black owned cleaners. We're losing them.
Cleaners. Yeah, if you go to other people's communities, you'll see some, cleaners that's been there for like 3 or 4 generations.
That's right. And somehow, just in our community, we just can't seem to keep businesses in our community, but we can get foreigners in ours,
and they thrive.
They thrive. Yeah. So, so Christian, we see you on, on X and your videos, like you said, on TikTok and everything, and you have some great policies and that you want to implement and that you are, talking about. So what would be some of the policies where you see what's happening in Chicago and Illinois? Yeah. What would be some of the policies that you would push and try to get through?
One thing that I think is important for the Chicago portion of the district is that when you look at people who are small landlords in the city, right now, there's no real protections or help for small landlords in the city. There's only things that help renters in the city. So a lot of people who are actually historical Black landowners or people who've owned like a 2 flat or a 4-unit building or whatever, they're a lot of times forced or kept from being able to, actually do improvements on their building because they're not allowed to increase rent based on what, is happening in the area. And a lot of times they struggle with the property taxes. The property taxes is the biggest thing that I want to help small landlords with. Is if you are actually, doing right by your tenants, you should be able to write off and kind of counteract some of that property tax damage that's being done to you on your federal taxes because you're actually doing what you're supposed to be doing by your tenants, as far as your building. A lot of times the small landlords, they're losing their buildings to developers who could care less about the community because they simply cannot afford the property taxes. And it's not because they don't want to actually, be a part of the ecosystem. It's not because they don't want to help their tenants and all of that. They actually are just being drowned out by property taxes that double or even triple from year to year. I saw my landlord's building, his property taxes, they literally went from, I believe it was like 4,000 to 16,000.
Yeah. Just now?
Yeah, and this is he's an elderly man.
Yeah.
Like, when we talk
were
about
you here during COVID or were you
I was in Texas. I was in Texas.
I was in Georgia at the time. Yeah. What would you have done? Because I like what you're saying with the land, because that killed them. When they weren't getting rent and anything like that. What have you done? Like, would you have like for the landlord? Because the landlords, a lot of people lost a lot of businesses. A lot of people lost their tenants because they couldn't pay because they couldn't open up. So like, what would you have done? Or if you thought of that?
Yeah, what I would have done is Illinois kept Illinois closed because, as you all know, you've dug into it. They wanted to keep getting the federal funding. They didn't care about the actual people making money. They wanted to get money from the federal government. So they had a vested interest in keeping Illinois shut down as far as schools, jobs, and all of that. They didn't care about that. So what I would have done is what Texas did. Texas opened right back up. People were not dropping like flies. I'm sure you saw it in Atlanta. Texas was wide
Yep.
open. Like when I got down there, I was shocked. I was like, there's no pandemic down here. It wasn't a pandemic.
It wasn't a pandemic. It
Yeah,
wasn't.
and I would come back to visit family here, and they were like still wearing masks, and they were walking one way in the grocery aisles. And so, as far as what I would have done, I mean, like I said, I'm not running for governor or anything like that. But what I would have done is open the state back up. Kids need to be in school. People don't realize that a lot of kids that go to CPS, the safest place for them to be a lot of times is in school. Them sitting at home means they're sitting at home by themselves without their parent present, more than likely, or they're at home not having a meal, not having lunch and not having breakfast. Like a lot of those kids actually needed to be inside of CPS, so they didn't go off the grid. A great deal of kids are still off the grid because of the pandemic, and they never return. CPS is averaging like 60% of, I think it's like 40% of kids, 40 to 60% of kids are absent at any given point in time at most CPS schools.
Yeah. What would you do now? What would you do different? Because I know you talk about the schooling system a lot because you homeschool and you. So what do you think? Far as CTU, CPS, things like that. What do you think about that?
The issue, I think CPS's curriculum is one of the biggest issues. They're focusing so much on teaching kids about social justice and teaching them about inequities and all of that they're missing the very important part, which is let's just teach the kids phonics and math. If you can teach kids phonics, everything else falls into position. Because once a kid understands letter sounds and those basic things, that makes it where you don't have a 12th grader who can't spell out a very simple word that has PH in it because they don't know PH makes the F sound. So it's like we right now have a fundamental breakdown in CPS because the teachers and the system as a whole is focused on the wrong thing. The curriculum, from what I've heard, the curriculum is not actually cohesive across all CPS schools. So it's like if you have CPS, like there should be a cohesive curriculum across CPS. It should be heavily focused on the things that matter most, which is making sure children can read. Nothing else matters outside of that. I also don't think that they should be able to just change the metrics and the KPIs for what determines if a child can graduate. We should not be graduating kids who can't read. Because at the end of the day, that child is still going to have to go and pursue a GED to get any type of job. So why are we graduating them if they can't read? You're basically dooming them to a life of criminality because where are they going to go work?
No, you're right. You're right. And that's like, I don't know if they're able to do it, but that's that No Child Left Behind that Bush did. That needs to be repealed. These kids need to be left behind.
Yeah. And then the other thing that there was a letter that Obama did. It was a Dear Colleague letter that really created all the disciplinary dysfunction in schools right now. So the Dear Colleague letter that Obama did, I forgot which year it was, but it basically made it where teachers in schools couldn't really discipline students the way that they used to actually create an environment where, students aren't attacking teachers. So it really disrupted the whole ecosystem of respect inside of schools. And now many teachers can barely, if you go look at teacher talk or, look at teacher videos on TikTok, all they complain about is that they complain about the fact that they can't get any instructional time in because they're trying to help curb behaviors in the classroom.
Right.
And they're not like psychiatrists, therapists. They're not licensed. They're licensed. It's all messed up. Like, I mean, the education system is the issue because this is our future.
Yes.
Pinky Lee said, I failed because I was left behind. Because that's, this is what we're dealing with. Pinky Lee in here.
Oh,
because what you said, I just want to expound on that. What you said, what she say?
Yeah,
I failed. I was left behind, but I feel it's because I was poor.
Well, because people they'll look at our Black students and American students in general, and they'll say, well, the Indian students come over here and they do fine. Yeah, because they go to Kumon right after school every day, and they get additional tutoring on top of going to the same schools we go to. So they're not. It's like most parents who work in the city. Think about it. Their day is not set up for them to go drop their kid off at tutoring right after school. They get off work with just enough time to go cook dinner and then go to bed. And that's how the life is set up for a lot of parents. But if you have in a lot of Indian households, a lot of times you have a stay-at-home mom.
The culture.
And our culture is set up different.
I just want to say this as well because me and Zoe we was talking, and me as a product of the
Mhm.
CPS system.
Mhm.
When I was younger, I had a stuttering problem. I had a speech
Mhm.
problem. I had a stuttering problem, and it was hard for me to pronounce words and things.
Mhm.
And I never got the help. My mother
No.
complained
Yeah.
about it, talked about it, but I never received the help.
Yeah.
And it's really hard for me to pronounce certain words,
Yeah.
to enunciate certain words. And
Mhm.
and Zoe, she said, Day, okay, we got to pronounce every word. So every syllable. So
Yeah.
it's this, eh. But that's
Yeah.
something that should have been, addressed because it was clearly there.
Yeah.
And it as growing up, like you said, going through third, fourth, fifth, sixth,
It
I
just
was
keeps
scared to
happening.
read in front of
Yeah.
the class because I
Yeah.
would get picked on. So
Mhm.
with that being said, I
Yeah.
can see, like you said, just the basic of pronouncing words and knowing phonics and knowing what the word is would help you. But that's what we don't get. And
Yeah.
that's what, that's where we have failed at
Mhm.
English, math. Most
Yes.
of us not proficient in right now in math,
Oh no.
reading,
Yeah.
and uh,
Yeah.
uh, English. So this
Mhm.
is what I think that people really don't understand.
They
But
don't know.
we are learning about trans. We are learning
Mhm.
about trans ideology history in
Yep.
school, learning the pronouns. They are definitely educating them on their pronouns
Oh yeah.
and how to be,
Well, see, CPS wants to get anything CPS is doing, they want to get lined up for funding. So if your child is not autistic, they're more than likely not going to spend
mm,
much time because anything has to go to either the ABA clinics because it's just a bunch of ABA clinics all over Chicago. It's because that's directly tied to funding. So if it's not going to allow them to get some funding off of your student, they're not going to address a lot of those key concerns. And then most of CPS schools, if you look inside of them, like I love teachers. I have no issues with teachers. So I want to put that out there. I love teachers. I appreciate teachers. The system that the teachers have to exist within is corrupt. It's totally corrupt. So if you're looking at the way the overall system is set up, this is why a lot of people are saying, hey, we definitely can't have the illegal alien students in the schools because now you have a whole nother population that has a whole different type of needs because they still have the same situations as far as some of those kids have learning disabilities, but they also don't speak English.
mm,
How can you so now you're like they're barely addressing the American students issues in CPS schools, and now you've added on bilingual students that nobody can communicate with. No.
Right.
So it's
It's
like it
corrupt
just
for real.
doesn't
But
work.
what you said earlier,
Mhm.
funding.
Yeah,
yeah,
they want the
that's a
funding.
Funding. I
funding.
mean,
That's a trend.
it's
Mhm.
money. Everything is money
Mhm.
laundering. They
Yeah.
money laundering and
Yep.
trafficking and doing everything in these
Mhm.
schools. And the teachers cannot say anything, or they're going to
Mhm.
lose their jobs. I
Yeah.
mean, and
Or be
then
attacked.
yeah, the parents
Attacked by
can't say
security.
nothing. They're what they said, they're terrorists. If they go up there,
You
Yeah,
can
they're
say
gonna
something
sexual
and get your
terrorist.
kids taken.
yeah.
If you rub those schools wrong. So my mom works for DCFS. The calls she handles the most are directly from CPS.
Mm,
They report parents and try to get kids taken all the time.
mm,
Mm,
Like CPS, and I'm sure they see a lot of stuff. Like I'm sure they see a lot of stuff, but
right.
the CPS funnel to being in protective services, strong.
Strong.
mm,
Yeah.
mm.
So
It's a
Yeah.
those
That,
goal there. Yeah,
you have
that's
to
a
be
goal.
careful. You have to be very careful messing with Chicago public schools.
Because
um.
retaliation. Okay.
Yeah.
Tyler, what
Mm-hmm.
is your top federal priority in your first year when you get elected? I'm not gonna say if elected. When you get
No.
elected.
The first thing I actually polled people and I asked them what would they want me to focus on first, and it was unanimous almost, and it was addressing the corruption. So I think that
Mm,
right now Illinois doesn't have a shortage of federal funds coming into the state. Our federal funds just disappear. They come into the state for HUD and for all these different departments, and then they don't go where they're supposed to go. So our infrastructure doesn't improve, the roads don't get better. We don't see any of these things actually change. So oversight for any federal dollars that come into the state would be my top priority. If Illinois is receiving funding for HUD, we need to see housing actually going up. Where is the
mm,
housing? You're not going to get paid on the front end for housing that you're going to build. You need to get paid once the housing units are built. That's the way this
mm.
should go for states, especially like Illinois, you'll give them HUD funding for housing, and then they'll next thing you know, it's like, oh, we ended up spending 40 million on each unit of housing or something
That's
crazy.
it. That's it.
It's like you could have built so much more housing if you
Right.
weren't literally trying to bloat all of the contracts for the actual development. So any
Mhm.
federal funding that Illinois gets and that states like Illinois get, it needs to be attached to real oversight and real accountability. Come with receipts for the production. Illinois needs to be paid for production, not for what they say they're going to do. And then it takes 10 years for them to ever do it, because Illinoisans need housing right now. We need our roads addressed all throughout the state right now. The schools, a lot of these schools still have lead paint, still have lead in the
Mold,
water,
mold,
mold.
yeah.
And we know
Mhm.
people go back and forth. Mold is deadly.
Yes, it is.
We have our kids sitting in schools covered in mold with lead paint, and then we wonder why kids are nonverbal and struggling.
Mm,
Right.
So it's
mm.
like you can't make it.
But we paying high taxes. But on your first line on a property tax bill say CPS, and
Right.
they're still going up on your taxes.
If you
So
go into most CPS schools, they during the summer they don't. Some of them don't even have air conditioning. These
yeah,
teachers are painting their own classrooms. To
mhm.
ask a lot of teachers, they have to paint their own classroom a lot of time at the beginning of the school year. Like they're struggling to even have new materials and new books.
But
No,
we paying millions and billions for this. And
yeah,
where's the money going?
and
So
teachers are
you
paying out of their pocket to do most of the stuff they're doing in their classrooms. So where is the money?
Yeah, you're absolutely right with
Mhm.
that, because this is the issue we're having now with the fear mongering about President Trump stopping the funding for, they got to come back with this, the Democrats. Oh, for the child daycare, how you going to get your kids to be in daycare in the schools and all that? And this is the fear mongering now. But like you said, no, we want oversight. We should have been had audits. Where is our money going? We as taxpayers should know where our money is going, who is being spent on, and how is it benefiting the taxpayers. So if we can't get that, because we've been demanding that, we've been demanding that at City Hall, we've been demanding that at CTU for the audits, and they're looking at us like giving us the middle finger, yet they're spending our money.
Literally.
Yeah, but you spending our money and you going up on our taxes and spending our money. Yet
Yes.
you feel like I can spend your money and I don't have to report to you what
Yes.
I'm spending it on, how I'm spending
Mhm.
it. And when somebody try to demand me like President Trump,
Yep.
I'm gonna make him be the villain. So
Yep.
what you said is very important, because
Yeah.
that's what we're fighting right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Right
you
now.
need oversight. You know how you went and testified before Congress? You need
Mhm.
oversight hearing after oversight hearing after oversight hearing. And if you don't show up, you are in contempt. Like
Yes.
the way that Bill Clinton, no, okay, don't show up if you don't want to. Don't
Right.
hand over the documents if you don't want to. This is the federal Congress controls the purse strings. I don't know, people forget that. It's like, but when we have 17 Congress people from Illinois, and the ones that aren't Republicans, they go to Congress and they lie about what's actually
Mhm.
happening in the state. Illinoisans are not happy. They're not
Right.
happy. They're not thriving. Our state is literally at a critical point. To be honest, we can't lose any more population. We can't lose any more businesses.
No, we can't.
Like we really are. If people really were honest with themselves, like you cannot afford to do 6 more years of Pritzker. It will destroy the state. The state is already at the point of bankruptcy. Like if they were allowed to, they would be bankrupt on pensions right now. They're just not allowed
Yep.
to file it. You just not allowed to do it. But
Yeah.
the state is almost insolvent. It's at
Right.
a critical point and about to basically implode. So it's
You're
like
right.
you have to actually start telling the truth about what's happening with this funding. And yeah, people need to go to prison. There's a
Yeah,
lot
I
of people who need to go
yeah.
to prison. A lot of aldermen need to go to prison. Some of these Congress people need to go to prison. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of legislative people need to go to prison. It's plenty of people who are going to be eligible because it's
That's
a lot of corruption throughout the state.
Like
And I
so
feel
yeah,
like
we
if you
go.
are in a political position and you get in trouble, like go to prison, like Jesse Jackson Jr., you cannot run again.
Right.
Like
You should
that.
not be able to, right?
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
should
you
not
can,
be able to run it. Like my boy, you stole
and I'm like,
taxpayer
all
money
for it.
and bought Michael Jackson glove. What makes
Yeah.
you think that you're going?
And
What's
wear
going to be
coats.
different now?
Yeah, I think that, and like, here's the thing. I actually, people who have felonies, I actually do want them to be able to pursue good quality lives. Running for Congress is not something you're entitled to.
Right.
I'm sorry, you shouldn't be able to
Yeah.
run for Congress if you have a felony. That's, I just don't think you should be able to do that, especially if it's a felony for something like what he did.
Like
Like
Yeah.
stealing our
stealing
money,
funds.
and
You
you want
embezzled
to
your funds.
right, and then you want to come back and get that position to do
Yeah.
it again, to have that opportunity to do it again. Come
Yeah.
on,
Yeah,
and we
like
know.
certain
He actually did
felonies,
jail time.
certain
People feel like-
felonies are BS. You understand? Like
Yes.
what they like what they did with Trump. Like
Yeah.
we know,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But you actually were caught stealing
Yes.
And our government fund, like you lost the public's trust.
He
You
did.
were working for the public. You are a public servant.
Mhm.
You should
Yes.
not be. You should not be leading right now.
No.
But see,
It,
that's an indictment on us because
it
it's
is.
no way
It
we
is.
as the voters should even have. 'Cause he shouldn't, like you said, it's no way he should not have 10 votes.
At
So
all.
that's something to show us how we can allow a person to
Yes.
steal our money.
Yep.
No,
Still our
we
money.
steal our money and then
Mhm.
come back and he come in our face and say, "Hey, put me back in office,
I'm
y'all."
ready to take my seat
And we
back.
do it.
And
And
then
we
the fact
do
that
it.
people aren't mad that Robin Kelly basically was a seat warmer. She was
Right.
basically a seat warmer and just kept it warm for him. And now she decides that she gets to go be senator.
Mm.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
you
never
don't
gonna.
get to go
That's
run
not
for
gonna
Senate.
happen.
I'm like, you didn't do anything except keep a corrupt seat warm while he was locked up and down bad. And now he
Yeah.
gets to come back and decide that he's going to be the representative of District 2. No, go do something else. Politics
But
is both.
see, that's how they feel about it. That's how low they feel about us.
Mhm.
I'm serious. That
Mhm.
shows you that what they think about us because they feel like we that stupid
They do.
that no matter what, we still just gonna vote blue no matter who blind me.
Yeah.
Whatever I do in your face, I can give you the middle finger
Yes.
and you that brainwash.
Yeah.
I know that you just gonna come back and vote for me.
Yeah.
That's what enrages me about the audacity of these people.
Well, you have to
Right.
go look though at a lot of these elections. The amount of votes that people are winning with is oftentimes not what you would expect. Like if you look at Brandon Johnson's election, what did he have? Like was it like less than like 300,000 votes or something like that? It wasn't
Yeah.
even that
Yeah.
many votes.
He probably
Many
cheated
people
those
didn't come
votes.
out.
Yeah,
And he
people
probably
aren't
cheated
coming
with
out
those
for
votes.
elections.
Those was probably, those cheating votes
Yeah.
where they, the dead people vote and they mail
Yes.
in ballots. Those probably were
Yeah.
those
Right.
votes.
But people have to take onus and they have to come out. They have to actually see where is my polling place? What days can I go out and vote? Like I'm like for me, I know a lot of people have a lot of issues with the early voting. I think for Illinoisans, our weather is incredibly bad. So for me, I'm like, if early voting is something that helps people to get out in time and be able to get out and make sure their vote is counted, I don't have a problem with it unless unless it's causing issues like in Illinois, it is being exploited in different places. But for
Mhm.
us, I think it has some benefits, especially for elderly people who don't have a consistent ride to their polling place and things of that nature. It gives them some flexibility. But people have to see where can I go vote? When do I go vote? And what am I voting for? And do a little bit of research beforehand so you can actually choose the best candidate who actually is being transparent about their policies. Like right now, Raja is like the top runner for
It's
Senate.
just
He has
lying.
so much money. He doesn't even have policies listed on his website.
And he's lying in his commercials.
The only policy he has listed is a policy plan against Trump.
That's sickening. That's
It's
sickening.
crazy.
That's
And he's like
sickening.
the front runner. My kids are so sick of seeing his ads. They're like, I can't stand Raja. I'm like,
But you see how sick.
ad.
But you see how sick that is. So you can go
Mhm.
and because you're a Democrat, no policies, and this is what we are trying to educate you guys on. It have to be policies, guys. You have to look
Yes.
at policies because when you look at policies and
That's their plan.
educate yourself on policies, most likely you're gonna realize you don't align with anything that the Democrat Party is trying to sell
Yeah.
you. None of it. As
Yeah.
just as a human being, as an American, as
Yeah.
some of you guys who we Christians who
Yeah.
believe in God, you don't align with any of their policies when you educate yourself on policies. So
Yeah.
that's why we keep encouraging you all to
Go
look
learn.
at policies over party.
Yeah,
Because
and watch
when you
what they're
align
doing.
when you look at policies, see, they can get you with ideology or like, they can separate us through, gender or, race. But when you're educated on policies and you look at the policies, you'll be
Yep.
like, the policies don't align with my lifestyle and what I believe and what's going on. So
Yeah.
this is so important, guys. And this, and going back to disrespect,
Mhm.
because they know Raj and them know the Democrats don't have to work for your vote.
They
So
don't.
he don't even think enough of you, the
No.
voters, to give you policies because they never had to, because they don't think that's how low they think of you. You're gonna blindly vote for us anyway, and we don't have to give you anything. That's their that's how they believe.
No, I remember when I was on TikTok, I was trying to share a video and TikTok wouldn't let me post it. I almost lost my account for
Oh,
So it was a video. Illinois passed some legislation at the state level where if a school does renovations on more than like 40 to 50% of the school, they have to therefore turn all the restrooms into all gender restrooms. And if there is a restroom that is even in close proximity to an all gender restroom, it has to also be turned into an all gender restroom. Mind you, this is inside of middle. This is already passed. This is done. Done deal.
And they didn't let you, and TikTok wouldn't let you put that.
Took it down. I posted it 3 times and I had a strike on my account and they were about to delete my account. I was not allowed to talk about it. They have it where if you go to a lot of these schools, the bathrooms are more than likely being converted into all gender or they already are all gender.
You're right. Because it
doesn't make sense.
Christian. And you know what? We you know what, me and Zoe just laugh about that because TikTok, we can't. Every video is ineligible on TikTok with us. You know,
for real.
Everyone we put on, we can
everything.
Everyone we put on is ineligible. But you're right because
but the Chinese run that.
Yeah. But
no,
Christian,
they have a vested interest in keeping us all types of confused in America.
Yeah, you're right because I train a lot of teachers, right? And I had teachers that are Christians, but like you were saying, it's going back to they cannot go against that or they'll lose their job, be retaliated against. So they would come in and training and they would be crying because they understand that it's going against their morals. But to teach, they were saying, Danny, some of those teachers have found that students would be in the bathroom getting like getting this gentle, about girl. And what they did was because, like you said, it's all genders, they can't separate that. Boy go identify as a trans, but he just wanted to go in there with the girl so they can go and do sexual things to each other.
Yeah. Well, and CPS already, what was the biggest complaint category CPS had? It was sexual misconduct.
Sexual misconduct.
Yeah. CPS, like I said, I know for a fact. That's why my mom is like, she's like, don't send your kids to CPS school. Because between the kids doing stuff to each other and all the other stuff happening, I'm like, no, you don't need all gender bathrooms in no CPS school.
Yep.
No. First of all, what is that?
Because I was reading, if you read the whole piece of legislation, I'm gonna try to see if I can find it for you all. But they had to include all this criteria. They're like the walls of the restroom have to go all the way down, and there has to be no. It's like if you have to just keep the bathrooms separate. You see all this extra stuff you have to do because it's not safe. It's not going to be safe because the moment that little girl walks out of her stall and she's in there with 4 boys, that's not I don't want to be in a stall with 4 grown men, much less a little girl who may be on her cycle and now she has to come out.
Right.
I'm like, how does this make sense? It's one of the most vulnerable times of your life. And these people in Illinois just are so focused on making sure that little kids have to be forced into these weird situations.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Then you get a lawsuit when you go
against ideology. It's like their weird personal, I call them kinks, fetishes that you are pushing it on our kids, and we can't say nothing because then they'll call us. Then they try to shame us. Shame. You're racist. You're homophobic. You're this. You're a bigot. You're this. You're the what? No, my child is 6 years old, and you want them to go in there with these little? Are you stupid?
Yeah.
Are you stupid? Like even siblings.
Yep.
You have you don't put your child in the bathtub with you understand with the boy. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't understand. But we're gonna do it. But we're gonna do it in schools. I don't do it at home with my kids. What makes you think it's okay to do it with different kids at school?
And then here's the reason they gave on the legislation. So Illinois is really clever. They'll write an opening paragraph on their legislation. So you think it's like, oh, they really care about me. Let me show you what it says. It says the legislative finding is the General Assembly finds that an inequitable situation occurs due to delays which women face in the use of restroom facilities when men are rarely required to wait for the same purpose. Rectifying this inequitable situation is a matter of serious public concern. This act shall be liberally construed toward that end. And that's what they use to justify why you should have more all gender restrooms, because women have to wait sometimes.
They always put the very people that they say they protected are the less protected. The very
Yeah.
people, like they
Yeah.
throw you in front of that,
Mhm.
but you're the one who benefit the less out of
Yes,
all of that. Because I just remember when I was a kid, or in grammar school and high school, it was so embarrassing for us to be on our cycle. Like you said, that was like the most, you didn't want to know if your stuff is showing, you know what I'm saying? You hate if you came to your parents. So that was, you would go in the bathroom to maybe have to wash up or something like that if that happened, or things like that. And the
I never
boys
thought
would
about that.
tease
You can't
you.
even go to the sink now. Like you,
Yeah, the kids would
yeah,
tease you, like the boys, like, she smell like, she don't have stuff, whatever. But imagine now you would go in the bathroom because that's embarrassing. Women, going when you're a child going through that. Now boys can come in there, violate that or see that, and then go back and laugh and talk about you, because we know how vicious these kids are. Go
yeah,
in there, laugh at you, and talk about, oh yeah, she was on her stuff, she smelled, or whatever it was. That's
yeah.
just so. I'm just thinking about how it was for me going there,
It's
as a
brutal.
in grammar school and high school. So could
Psychologically,
you
they just really
imagine that?
want to continue to psychologically mess our children up because these people have psychological issues and problems. I'm very big on mental health because my mother, like I've always been in therapy throughout my life because my mother was a single parent raising me. So she knew that my father was not going to be around majority of the time. So she got me and my little sister into therapy early,
That's
and I'm
smart.
thankful for that because to see now how much we need therapy and we need good psychologists, good psychiatrists, good therapists, not social workers, not caseworkers. We need people who really went to school for this, who understands this,
Mhm.
because honestly, the brain, our children's brains, they are a sponge, and they, from the ages of when they're born to 10 years old, is the most important time of their life, and they are destroying that right now in the place where they're supposed to be remain safe, like you said earlier, Christian, the school. And it is being abused, and that's regardless of you getting in, and hopefully that you'll have other people that you can work with in Congress that understands it's not about anybody right now but the children. We
Mhm.
have to clean these, we have to get
I
these
agree.
schools together. If we do
Yeah.
not get these schools together, our
Yep.
future is doomed, and we will be part, and our nation will be gone.
Mhm.
It will not be an American nation anymore, because you guys are letting these foreigners come over here,
Mhm.
and they have no idea how to run their country, and
Yeah.
come and give us their views and ideas, and then we're going to use those instead of understanding the resources and using the American people right here, born and
Mhm.
raised here. And with our, like you said, like, I understand how
Mhm.
mental health works,
Yeah.
fitness, everybody understand we're from this nation. We're from born
Mhm.
and raised here.
Yeah.
How are you going to ignore us and then deal with communism? Listen to what somebody in China said, or
Mhm.
someone in Venezuela said, or
Mhm.
somebody in some other Russian said. Like, wait, what? Like, we got our own people here, so it's just diluted, all messed up. And until we dismantle this whole, like how Trump is doing on the federal level, we have to
Mhm.
do it in the state and local
You have
level,
to.
or we're doomed.
You have to.
Somebody asked, how
Mhm.
did you feel about school choice? I saw in the comments they want you to ask you
I
that.
feel like parents. So school choice is working well in Florida. Like I know, for instance, I have a relative, super blue relative, and it's so funny to me. They're really affluent, but they moved from Frankfurt here in Illinois, even though they're hardcore Democrats, to Florida. It's a wonderful Florida.
Everybody do. Everybody
Everybody.
run. They run from what they
Yeah,
vote for
what
from
they
their
created.
harmful policies, and they run to a red
Yeah,
state
and
because the
then was telling
policies
us
are better.
her kids' tuition is like 30 something thousand dollars a year. Florida gives her $7,000 towards it because they have school choice. So
Mm.
it's like I'm
Mm.
like, and then it's like the fact that she was like literally shoving it down my throat that you're president. I'm like, well, you're in one of the reddest states in America and you're loving it. So I
You're
don't want to hear it.
loving it.
Yeah, but at school, for as far as school choice, I think that school choice is working in different states throughout the U.S. and we need to look and see what components of it are flourishing. I don't want to see our public schools, waste away, but right now they're already wasting away because the funding is being taken and drained. So I can't. It's like I can't sit here It's like, do you save the kids or do you save the school building? I gotta save
Mm,
the kids.
mm.
Right.
Because parents are being drained. I think so many Chicago parents' wealth is being drained because of private school. If you have one kid in private school, that's automatically $6,000 to $10,000 a year out your
Mhm,
Right.
household, automatically.
mhm,
If you have more than one kid, it just adds up. It continues to add up. The discount they give you for having more than one kid enrolled is not that big. So if parents
mhm.
could actually have some help towards their school tuition or have these schools start to actually function, it automatically increases the wealth of Illinois families. And that's what I
Yeah,
want to see, because then they have a little bit more money to actually enjoy their life, to actually invest in their kids. People shouldn't have to pay for private school K through 12. How you gonna pay
mm.
for college?
When we are
Right.
paying, when our taxes, I keep saying that first
You
line,
already paying for
listen,
school.
yeah, listen, that first line
Yep.
on my property tax bill,
Yep.
I'm paying thousands. And then they had the nerve to go up on my taxes on that one tax line. And then the felony school CPS had the nerve to come back again and raise the property taxes 25 million more dollars.
And
And
let's talk about city colleges. That's a
yeah,
whole nother,
oh
because City
yeah,
College
because
of Chicago.
that's on my line too, Zoe,
Yeah.
y'all. That's a line too that I'm paying it went up as well. So you right. I mean, at some point, yeah. I'm getting pissed off thinking about that because you're right. We have to go pay for private schools that's already killing us. If we have, like you said,
Yeah.
we really want our kids to learn more, and we have
Yeah.
multiple kids, but yet they're taking out my money
Yes. And you're
for
already paying for it
CPS.
twice. Illinoisans pay for mostly everything twice, 3 times. Like, that's the norm here, is to be taxed multiple times and to pay for things, education twice. You're being taxed for transportation, but then it's like you paying for roads, but then the same road has a pothole in it and destroys your tire.
Yeah, right,
Right.
right,
So it's
right, right.
like,
But
I
I
gotta
see
pay
that you
for
just took out all this money for this road, for these
yeah,
roads.
but all the
This
roads
is
are
like,
destroyed. And
and
also
it's
there's
not.
traffic everywhere because they do construction and it takes them. In Texas, I don't know how it was in Atlanta, but in Texas, from the moment they put up, they could build a highway in like a year. Like, up
You're
here,
right.
it takes them like a decade to build a highway. It's
That's it.
insane.
Because they not building nothing.
No, you'll see 3 dudes. It'll be a pod of like 3 dudes on a highway up here. In
You're
Texas,
right, right.
they would have the whole strip. That'd be full of like 100 construction workers. Just
And you'll get done just like that.
they build
Yeah.
Yeah.
buildings. Sometimes I would drive down the street, nothing would be there. In
Mhm.
2-3 weeks, a whole foundation and everything has been built for a building. Nothing moves fast here, and that's what makes things expensive, because the markets aren't competitive enough, and there's not enough people who actually get to work on projects because everybody wants to nickel and dime everything. That's why the Obama Library costs 4 times what it should have cost.
On a
Mhm.
And now
on a
they're
$10
rushing.
lease.
Yeah, and now they're rushing and building it. I'm like, you could have been built it. You done
Yeah.
threw up this nasty egg, apocalyptic building in
Yeah.
what, a year? And it took
Because
you.
y'all done took all the money because it was just a money grab.
It
All
was
the
supposed to be built in
money.
2020.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and they don't even have the money in the endowment. It's just all messed
They
up.
didn't put
Like
any of the money in they were supposed to put
it's
in.
it's like $5 million in there, but it's supposed to be like 260 million.
Yeah, they
And they
haven't used
just
any
put
of
that
it.
5 million in there. Just
Yeah,
put that
it
in
was
there.
empty up until now.
Yes.
And then it's like people's property taxes have gone up so much. And a lot of people invested in the areas around that library because they were like, oh, it's going to be built by this point. It is 6 years later and it's still not done. So people invested in the area, and it's like, well, for what? Crime is still
Yeah.
So
running rampant. I know for a fact it's running rampant.
yeah, we
Right.
know the line on the stacks.
Yeah.
So what you think about so the concerns, I know we would be affordability, and we're dealing with I'm sure in Cook County too as well with the property taxes. They are taking tax of property and things like that through the property tax and things like that. Can you talk about that and
Yeah.
what would
The
you?
thing that I would want to do to help with property taxes is right now things like the SALT deduction, where people can is based on how much you earn. I think it's like 75,000 for an individual and like 150 or something like that for a couple. And it allows you to deduct what you're paying in property taxes off your federal tax requirements. I would want to increase that a little bit so that people who are actually in that middle income area, they can get some of that coverage as far as the SALT deduction, and be able to deduct more from their federal taxes based on how much they're paying in property taxes. Because for a lot of families, it's nothing for you to pay $10,000 in property taxes, which is basically a mortgage.
Right.
Like once you
Right.
start getting past, 5,000, 6,000, like you're adding a lot of money each month to your actual mortgage bill. So working with the SALT deductions to help decrease people's federal tax requirement is the main thing that Congress can do. Because as far as things at the state level, people have to really get after their state legislators and get after, whoever you vote in for Cook County assessor and all those, that stuff matters.
Cook County
It matters.
president, all it
All of
matters.
that
What you
matters.
tell them.
Those are the most important roles in this area.
Say
And
it.
if you sleep on who's in that position, they just rushed and reassessed a bunch of properties on the south and west side. Just rushed and did it. I don't even think they visited all the properties. They just reassessed them and it was like, here's your assessment. So a lot of people don't even know that their assessment is wrong, for one. You need to actually force their hand to get a proper assessment. But it's like I said, as far as at the federal level, working to make sure the SALT deduction actually includes is applicable for as many people as possible is very important, because it helps you to decrease your federal taxes, because Illinoisans are literally being strangled under their state tax requirements, property taxes. And then also, if you don't have the federal government trying to decrease federal taxes, you're still getting railed on your federal taxes. So the biggest thing I would want to focus on is making sure there's as many deductions as possible for people paying property taxes, where they can really start to basically nullify their federal tax requirement because of how much they're being strangled by property taxes in Illinois. In addition, the one thing I want to do is when you look at things like Illinois getting HUD grants, if Illinois is not doing their due diligence to work on the property tax issues and concerns, now you should be going over into an oversight issue. Because why are you getting housing grants and HUD grants from the federal government, but you're not addressing the biggest concern that your constituents have inside of your state, which is property taxes? So it's the same way Trump is like, I'm not handing over funding right now because you all are still being a sanctuary state. That's not a new thing. Congress could have been doing things like that as far as withholding federal grants, because Illinois relies on HUD for a great deal of things. Hold the money back, and people have changed their tune really fast.
No, real talk. Illegal immigration, because we have 56 minutes. Illegal. So what's your stance on illegal immigration? ICE being in these cities.
So, I mean, you all know I support ICE. The thing that Illinoisans have to be mindful of, and I know that people want to be, we are sympathetic people. We are good-hearted people. It's not that we hate the fact that, these people exist. The issue is that Illinois can't take care of Illinoisans. There is no room. There is no room financially. There's no room in housing. Like Illinois can't afford the new citizens. And the other issue and concern where people should advocate for ICE to actually do what they're doing, a great deal of children came over the border under Biden. A great deal of children who went missing when they came over that border. A lot of these children are in homes all throughout this city, wishing somebody would come knock on the door because they are not there with their parents. Child sex trafficking is a real issue. Just people don't want to look that stuff up because it makes you feel bad. Look it up. Go look up and see how many children are trafficked every year. It is a major concern. Yes, ICE needs to go knock on those doors to make sure those children are actually there with their parents and go see who's supposed to be here. Because that's a real issue, along with actually trafficking of workers, drug mules, and people being trafficked to work. That's a real thing as well. So I think everybody's looking at it like, oh, Abuela's getting deported. It's not just that. The cartels are very active in Chicago. Chicago has always been a hub for mob violence, cartel violence. I'm like, when did we forget that Chicago is like one of the most criminal cities in America? Like, so no, you do need to drive. You can't afford to have heavy hitting cartels embedded in this city. Like, you really do need for a lot of them to be dismantled, and ICE is working to dismantle that, because a lot of these people do have very extensive criminal records. Like, when you look at what they've done, they are violent, guilty of sex crimes, drug crimes. Like, these are not your regular run-of-the-mill stealing chips at Walgreens. Like, these are real criminals, hardened criminals that are a part of cartels. You can go look it up on the U.S. Department. What's it called? When they indict people, they've been indicting cartel leaders here for a while, like major cartel leaders. So we do need to. You have to get that really intense criminal element back out, because that's why you see people fentanyl leaning all over the city. Some people live in nice areas and they don't see it. I see people stuck all over Woodline, just stuck in motion.
Right.
off of fentanyl. Like you
Mhm.
can't. It's deadly. You can't even touch it.
No,
So yeah,
real talk.
I'm heavily in favor of people having the chance either self-deport, because then you have a chance to come back. You have a
Right.
chance to come back and immigrate legally. But right now, Illinois has to focus on Illinoisans. They're not even doing a good job with Illinoisans. Let's focus on Illinoisans. There's no room at the end, unfortunately, for people who have not immigrated legally. And also, we don't need measles running out of control all over again.
Mhm.
That doesn't work for us.
And the competition in schools
Yeah.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
job.
and
I went,
Mhm.
to that, I
jobs.
went to that engineering graduation at UIC, and every single person was foreign. Why aren't our
Jason,
kids getting
say
engineering degrees?
it. Say
Say
it
it again.
again. You said
And
what again, Christian? Say it
I went to
again.
the engineering graduation at UIC, and undergraduate all the way through graduate, just mostly like 95% foreigners.
Mm.
Forms for
I'm
engineers.
like,
But but the crazy thing is,
mhm,
now one thing I do
yeah,
like about especially the South Asian community, that's the Indians,
mhm,
them, they make sure that you can do whatever you want, but you gotta get
yeah,
that engineering degree.
yeah.
You have to get that
Well, because
engineering
getting it under
degree.
your belt
Yeah,
matters.
you have to. Yeah, we have to start pushing our kids to like if it has to be medical, law,
Yeah,
or engineer. You can do whatever else you want to do out there, but you gotta pursue
to
one
get
of
that
them
under your belt
degrees.
first.
Yeah, you have to get that under your belt. That's
Mhm.
something that
Yeah,
we have to do as like if
and we
I
got to
have
force our K through 12 to actually prepare them. If you don't have a good
yeah.
background in chemistry and physics, it don't matter how you force them at college. They don't
Yeah,
have
you
the
have to.
foundation
Yeah,
they need. Yeah.
yep.
So
And
CPS
we
is
have
failing
yeah
our kids before they even get to college. They're not going to college prepared for an
at all.
engineering degree. They can't take a chemistry 101 in freshman year. Most kids aren't prepared to take a real chemistry 101 class if they came from CPS. Now, people always want to talk about Gwendolyn Brooks. And it's like, okay, it's so hard to get into Gwendolyn Brooks and a lot of these selective enrollment CPS schools. We can't keep riding on the back of the selective enrollment saying CPS is good. No, it's not.
Right.
Selective
Mhm.
enrollment is very hard to get into, and most kids don't ever get into it. So we need to
Mhm.
fix CPS across the board. Needs to be able to bare minimum get kids prepared to do the bare minimum in a either 2-year or 4-year college. That's a reasonable expectation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's you're right. You're right. Like I said, it's gotta start. We gotta tackle the CTU. What do you think about the unions? The
I,
CTU, like the
I would love
unions.
to see CTU dismantle. I think that they should have if teachers want to have different smaller unions to be a part of, by all means, I want you all to feel like you have some support. I support people who are members of unions. I don't like CTU. I'm sorry, I don't like it. I think that it's a corrupt institution and it's actually a political activism organization. It's not actually a union protecting teachers. They barely even talk about kids. Have you seen them do one protest about kids?
Mm-mm. Not
No,
No,
one.
they never
All
talk about kids.
political.
They don't care about
All
kids.
they
So
don't care
CTU
about
needs
kids
to
at
go.
all.
I would love to see if they can get dismantled, or they need to be detached from our legislation, like our legislative government.
Yep.
CTU, basically, the state legislator almost answers to CTU.
Sure
Like,
do.
Mm.
like the
It
connection is
needs
not how it is in other states. If you look into how other states interact with their teachers union, it's not how Illinois interacts with its teachers union. Our teachers union
Mhm.
has too much control and too much power.
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah. They control the dynamics of the politics here. Who get in office?
Mhm.
Yeah. They control that.
They control.
And yeah, they control too much.
Yeah,
The
they are
laws
a
made.
criminal organization, gang,
Mhm.
gang.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um. Okay, what support do you need? Oh well, no, I want to ask this.
Mhm.
You said you had something on sickle cell.
Yeah.
When we're doing, yeah, can you explain what
Yeah.
you want to do with that? Because a lot of people do not talk about sickle cell, and
No.
yeah,
No, I know people ask, like, what do you have specifically for Black people? I'm like, well, there's some issues that I thoroughly believe are Black people focused, and sickle cell is one of them. There's not enough research into sickle cell and why it happens and how to actually, stop it from taking lives. I actually had a classmate in high school who died at a very young age from sickle cell. So I really want to be a part of making sure that there's ample research into sickle cell and addressing how to treat it better so that people aren't consistently losing their lives. Because so many Black women, young Black women, die from it. Black men, it takes people out so fast when they go into one of those attack phases. It can shut their body down in a heartbeat. So making sure that there's focused research that is federally funded, that is not going to exploit anybody, but is going to truly focus on getting a solution to sickle cell is something that I really want to see put into the works, because it's too many diseases like that just continue to just destroy our community and hurt people. And that's one of the things that I think that's genetic. So it just gets passed. passed along to new generations. So investing in that from a federal level is something that I specifically think benefits the Black community and helps us a great deal.
It's surprising that you spoke about that because for the Democratic Party to be heavily Black and to heavily talk about the Black issues that we have, they never talk about sickle cell and trying to figure out.
And they don't talk about the birth. They talk about the maternal death rate because they love talking about Black women dying in hospitals. But why aren't you talking about funding more birth centers across the U.S. and making sure insurance companies have to fund birth centers? Because right now, insurance companies don't have to pay for your birth center birth. A lot of times if women go to a birth center, they have to pay out of pocket. That's another policy I want to do is force insurance companies to cover your birth center out of hospital birth, because many times women have much better outcomes in birth centers than they do in hospitals. I've given birth in a birth center and with a midwife at my home. When I gave birth at home, I had a midwife and 4 nurses in my house, literally caring for me, looking at me. I was their only patient. You cannot tell me that that's not better than being stuck in a hospital room and they come in to check your little paper strip and then walk back out.
Right.
Like people have given birth on accident on their bed because they were just left in their room for so long because the hospitals are just batching you through. So I want to see birth centers actually paid for by insurance so that more Black women in urban communities or women in general in urban communities can access care that's more focused on actually, helping them and focusing on them and their holistic health and well-being. That's how you actually help women. Like abortion care is not women's health care.
Yeah, it's not. It's a genocide. It's a genocide.
And it actually causes mental health concerns.
Damison had a question at Damison. I think it's, I can't see it now. I believe it was Damison. Or they asked about predators. If it was in your community, how would you how they are housing? I just saw the question.
I bet that, right now, Chicago isn't even monitoring people with ankle bracelets. So I can't imagine how bad the sex offender registry is being managed.
Oh, that's what they were talking about.
Yeah, the sex offender registry, I haven't even begun to start to look into that. But it's one of those things where
he says, I have a halfway house full of sex offenders against children, 2 houses away from my children, no postings or notice. No aldermen, no mayors, news, websites, no one.
That should have been fought. Like that shouldn't have gone up in your community, especially if there's children inside of the community. Like you can't do that. Like they're not supposed to be in a certain distance.
Yeah.
That's, but the thing is that the halfway house is probably funded by the state. So
that's what I was getting ready to say. You have to, just like you keep going back to, it's oversight.
They like
and
money.
It's knowing where our money is.
It's the money. It's the money. Like we got criminals in these positions. You know what I'm saying? It's just they just have and they're over the government. You know what I'm saying? They're over the government, which is you talk about background checks. You know what I'm saying? Like you a regular any of these people could not, like just what's his name? Jesse Jackson Jr. cannot go get a regular job. He has a felony from what he did. He cannot go work at a bank. He cannot go work at anything with finance because he did a financial crime. He stole. You understand? For taxpayer money, the public trust. So
a lot of it.
If you can't get a job, a regular job, what makes you think you qualify to be a congressional person again?
That's the thing I'll leave on is that people need to just run for office. Run for office because that's what Democrats do every day. They have whole platforms geared towards getting the regular person to run for office. There's a platform called, I think, Good Party, and then they also have a whole training platform of videos of how to run as a regular person. Like they cultivate regular people to run all the time. So on the Republican side, just take a shot. Take a shot on yourself and run for something. If you know you have a good heart, we need you. Because these people, they take a shot on themselves all the time. They're very confident.
You're right. What? Where can we find? Oh, you want my thing?
Okay. So, is it anything that we left out, Christian, that you would want people to know? Any questions we didn't ask? Anything that you would want people to know that we didn't cover about?
I think the one thing, and I know you spoke on it too, is that people think that Republicans don't like Black people or that we can't stand Black people. I actually love Black people. I hate how Black people are being treated. And I hate how we're being tricked and used and manipulated. And that is why I will call out the dysfunction and why I will call out these leaders who continue to pander to us and to lie to us. So I love Black people and I want to see Black people prosper. I want to see you actually living a good and independent life. I don't want you being beholden to the government. So those are things that I think are good for Black people, is to be able to have somebody who will advocate and say, hey, I'm going to teach you how to fish instead of having to deliver fish to your door every day. Because once you learn how to provide for yourself, you're unstoppable. You're uncontrollable. That's why people can't even, I mean, on the Democrat and Republican side, they don't know what to do with me. I'm running my own race. And I didn't ask for his permission. So getting to that point for yourself is the best thing you can do as a Black person, is becoming an independent person who can actually provide for themselves and make their own way. And
like, you independently aligned with the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's okay. You understand? Yeah. Like, I told some of my friends at dinner yesterday, like, what do we have to lose? Like, honestly, we cannot keep this one party going. Like, we have to split this. Like, at least split it first. You understand? Like, what do we have to lose? We have to break this one party rule. You understand? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, what do we have to lose? Because we're all not gonna go vote independent.
No,
we're not. So we have to split it, and I'm gonna go on a conservative side, which we all are. I'm like, we all are conservative. And they all shake their head.
I was raised conservative. Yeah. My grandmother was very conservative. People lying to themselves about that is crazy to me. My grandmother was extremely conservative.
Extremely.
Yeah. I had the little ruffle socks on going to church. Like, I grew up, you know, and I did a lady learn how to cook. Like, I'm like, people lying about not being raised conservative.
We did too.
My mother was extremely conservative. If she would have been into politics, like I tell her all the time, I said, if you would have followed Condoleezza Rice during that time, because I always was interested in Condoleezza Rice, because her being Black, being out there, and people praised her. There was never no shame like how they're doing now. Like, nobody don't say nothing about Condoleezza Rice, because Condoleezza Rice was smart. Very smart.
Oh no, they talked about her real bad. They called her. I remember that. They talked about Condoleezza.
I don't remember seeing nothing about Condoleezza.
You know, the regular our people.
I mean, mainstream though. When I was younger, I never seen nothing negative about her.
Yeah, they used to. Yeah, they hated
it. Drag her too.
They hated anybody, because if you Black and you for Trump or you a Republican, yes.
She was. Well, I guess. But it is what I know. I heard more about Colin Powell than her, but it is what it is.
Yeah, they would all get dragged.
No, well, it is what it is. We getting dragged too. So
I get dragged every day.
Every day, I'm getting
dragged on threads right now. Getting dragged.
They're taking my gay rights. So
it's so funny. People on threads, they'll come find my threads page and they're like, "Look, nobody supports you." I'm like, "You're on threads, bro. I don't even post the threads." Like, I'm like, "Go look somewhere else and you'll see the truth." They're like, "Oh, she only got 1,300 followers on threads." I'm like, I'm like, it's okay, bro. You'll find it.
Right. We really need gas. Listen, we really need, if we're going to have any hope, because like Christian Maxwell said, we're on it, and we keep telling y'all this, Chicago and Illinois, we're on the verge of no return. It's actually like this is the ledge. We like this. We like tipping, right? Like, and the back is up.
And somebody got
if
we don't get it together and do this like this, bring it back down, and then get a chance to turn the other way, it's over. It's over the cliff for us.
Yeah.
And if we don't get Jonathan Jackson out of office, if we don't get Pritzker out of office, if we don't get Tony Pratt-Winkle, if we don't get Brandon, Stacey Davis, all these, if we don't do this, guys, I'm serious. We keep trying to warn you all with a dire, and we're in a dire situation, because we're out here in the fields on the ground telling you all, hey guys,
it's bad.
It's bad out here for us. So we're trying our best to warn you all and get you all to see. Christian, you know, we watch you. We don't have one thing about us, me and so we really like, y'all, we really from the streets. We don't play these games. It is what it is with us, because like she said, we're not groomed to be politicians. We didn't choose this life. God chose us. He chose this life for us. So we watched Christian for a while. We watch, because you all know how me and Zoe is. We just out here just like renegades on the street. We don't care.
Yeah.
Because you have to be this bold
Yeah.
and have to be in a dismantling mindset to deal with these demons. Because they're
Yeah.
not gonna come. You can't come, hey guys, you think you can
No.
quit? Hey guys, you have to be
Yeah.
like that. God is you gotta be bold.
You
And
do.
we
Gotta be
watched
bold.
you. We watched you, Christian. We didn't say nothing. We watched you because you know you have to see who's
You
really
gotta
about
know
that life,
plants
who's
are real.
real.
Plants
Yeah,
are real.
you have to
Yeah,
see.
like one thing I like about you is you're an entrepreneur
Yeah.
and you speak business, and
Yeah.
that's what we're in. Like if it's not about, even with the when the whole reparation thing, I remember that thing. I said, shit,
I was
they
like,
gonna
don't bring me back.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. They
but
bragging.
then they
Yeah.
try to do me the same way when
Well,
I
they
said that
got
all
mad at
y'all
me because
do
I
is
wouldn't
get on
tell.
these.
Yeah,
Huh?
they got mad because I wouldn't tell my whole. I'm like, if I give you my family's beginning name, you can find every single one of my relatives.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right,
like,
right.
but and I get FBA, and I love them, and I understand, like, and
Yeah.
I get it, no tangibles and stuff, but we gotta get in office. Like, you gotta
Yep.
understand, like, the real people that were supposed to do this, they messed up.
Well, they let so
They're
many generations of
thieves.
people slide. I'm like, you let so many leaders slide without doing a single thing. Like,
Yeah. So now
yeah,
the new era is coming in
yeah,
and pointing out the corruption. Like I said, like, y'all want to go back and forth with me about reparations. Let's talk about all the reparation money that y'all done stole. Cause we
yeah. And I
can
think people forget.
we can huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
people forget that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I worked with Black entrepreneurs primarily. Like that's what I work for Black beauty brands. Like I work for Mael Organics, Cream of Nature. I work for all the different big beauty brands, and even for small what is it called, e-commerce owners. I'm like, I know you all talk. People are talking about reparations, but I'm like, I've watched e-commerce owners cash $25,000 check after $25,000 check for grants that only Black women could apply for. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
the issue is they're not in Chicago. I'll say the city of Chicago and the
yeah,
state of Illinois. They are giving it to they're giving it to their homegirls, they giving it to their
Mhm.
buddies, and it's the
yeah,
same
because
people.
Black
The
people
neighborhood
they won't
opportunity
actually,
grant, it's the same
yeah.
people.
Yeah, they don't actually, and that's the thing. Is like these people aren't good stewards. So it's like there's money that's
That's
been
it.
available for decades that was supposed to be for Black people in general. But like you said, people would just shortlist it to their homies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that we have to get we as Black Americans, freedmen,
Hold everybody accountable.
FBA, whatever. Yeah, we have to hold it accountable.
Yeah,
Nobody's in there holding. That's why we have to split this one party rule.
and get rid
So
of here's the thing, get rid of the elites.
yeah, get rid
All
of the
right,
Man.
elites.
get rid of
Get
Yeah,
all
real
of it.
people with real experience who's not going to sell out,
Yeah,
who answer to God, answer to
yeah,
not the world, who
yeah,
know if I steal this money, if I'm
yeah,
not a good steward over this money, I'm going to be held accountable, not by man because they're looking at
yeah.
me, but by God. So
yeah.
you
Like, do
got to
you
get
think that
people.
the Jews? Do you think that the Jews would let other Jews come in and take their Holocaust money? Like, do you really think that they would never allow
Native
that?
Americans wouldn't either. Like
Native
Native Americans
Americans, the
were
Asian,
slaves,
the Japanese, when they got there, like, we the only ones
and
that
they
are,
unite. They
and
unite.
they
Like,
unite. So us uniting, honestly, is to split this. We're united. This unity right here on this
Mhm.
StreamYard right here. So we're gonna keep the truth going. I remember when that happened to you. Then, like, I'll say about a month later, my name kept being in, like, these in them in
Spaces,
them in them
X spaces.
spaces, right? Asking, like, are we really about, like, am I really for the people and da da da? So I went in on the one guy. I'm like, you having all these spaces about me, and all y'all do is sit in there and talk about reparations all day. All y'all do is talk about reparations all day. Get out and do something.
well, because
They tried
people
to
as a
spin that
whole, I'm like,
around. They
people
try.
can put forth their own. You can put forth legislation and have petition signed. It's like people, even the FBA community. Like I said, I want to learn more about what people want to hear from that. But if the FBA community wants to put forth a petition to then kind of force the hand of Congress, do that. Like people go and lobby all the time. Why doesn't the FBA have a
Yeah,
lobby?
and that's what I say. Like, get a lobby, get a group together.
Go formally do the
Yeah,
process.
Because they do. But look, some do. Oh, some
Huh?
do. Some do. But you guess what? Your Democratic Party always can and make sure it don't ever come to fruition because they never want you to have anything.
Again, if we go back to the reparation HB 40 money that the government has allocated for these studies, the only person who has been getting this money are those same group of people.
Yeah.
The Black
to do the same study that we already know. And then they get mad when other races, white America specifically, be like, there's no, you understand, there's no study on the slavery that happened with us. You know, we weren't, you know, there was some situation. Yeah, and then they get mad when people say that. So it's like,
well, because
I
then
get it. I
have
understand.
Yeah, it's like it's like once you open that dialogue, it's like then you got to talk about, you know, Black slave owners. It's like you got to have a whole conversation. So it's like
you got to have this whole conversation.
You can't just have one part. And it's like a lot of people only know the slavery story from what you were told in grammar school. It's like, nah, you got to have the whole conversation about slavery. And it's like at the end of the day, the people you really need reparations from is almost Nigerians. Like
right.
Africa. It's like
the people who enslaved you to them and gave you to them because they couldn't come into the country and just take you. They had to be given to you.
Black people accept. I'm like, you really think that white people got off a ship and just started walking through Africa and just snatched up Black people?
Yeah,
like,
right.
I'm like, people not hopping off. You're not just bouncing into Africa now. Much less then. I'm like, I think that for me, I'm like, I look at like the history of Africa is like a whole nother topic, but I'm like the fact that Black people just accept that Africans were so weak that they got overpowered that way. I'm like, there were whole kingdoms in Africa.
The reason, and then I say, and I always tell my mom because my mother used to get mad with Trump in the first term. He would say, you know, those shithole countries, right? Yeah. And I told my mom, I said, well, they are. Well, I said, didn't they sell us?
They did.
And then my mother's like, yeah, like they are. And I said, that's the issue right now.
Trade.
Huh? Yeah. And I said, and that's the issue right now, why we have so much division in our race because of the that mindset. That mindset of us being our own people. Right? Our own people sold us. Yeah. We're dealing with this right now.
Yeah.
In 2026.
Yeah,
right. It didn't change.
Yeah. So so we have to break this. And how we have to break it, we have to hold everybody accountable. People get mad. The reason why people hate us is because we're not lying.
No.
You understand? We're not lying about the facts. And they have that.
Don't even know the facts because it's like,
a lot of them don't know the facts.
If you go,
but they're just mad. They're just mad because they feel like we're gonna give what we built, what we built to the white man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's their. Yeah. But the Democratic Party, they feel like, well, we already built this, and why we just can't put better people in. We can't because the policies are never going to change. None of those people on the Democratic side that's running right now, Jonathan Jackson that's running against you, he's never going to say this has to end a sanctuary city.
Yeah,
he can't say that. He can't. And we can no longer be a sanctuary state. We can't.
He can't talk about the failing schools because now you're going to be going against CTU and your Democratic people who fund your campaign. So you can't talk about these real issues that we are having and not going to. You can't.
No, because like he's on the House Agricultural Committee, and right now one of the bigger issues in Illinois is that there's more and more Chinese ownership of our farmland. How are you on the Agricultural Committee? And literally, our farmland in Illinois is being sold to the Chinese.
To the Chinese. I told you. Remember,
none of them talk about it. None of them. Everybody that's going on this campaign trail right now, all they talk about is Trump. They don't speak about any of those things. So my thing is, we have to dismantle it, and we're going to dismantle it the best way that we know possible, and we're not gonna let anybody get in our way, and that's just what it is.
On either side.
On either side.
I agree.
Yeah, we going
me crash out.
Yeah.
On
So
either side, we're getting
Yeah.
people who really care.
Mhm.
Real people, not career politicians. It's over for
No,
them because those are, I just feel like the ones who that's in office and all of that, they're
Mhm.
compromised.
They are.
And we're getting real guys, when we keep telling you all, none of us on here,
Mhm.
if we had a choice, we was doing something different with our lives. All of us had
Oh
a
my
plan for
gosh.
our lives.
Yes.
You would have never told us this would be our lives. So it's
No.
like God, you was on this road, God picked you up and say, nope, you right here, you right
Yep.
here. So when Christian said plan, every day we're not planning anything. We're being guided every day
being God.
Yep.
because this is not what we chose.
No.
But this is the people God chose, and He's
Yep.
putting us together like a puzzle piece.
He
And
is.
that's why I told you, as I was saying, we was watching you. We watched you for a minute, and then we was like, okay, and then we just, everything, and we said, and then Zoe, we can't say, what you think about Christian? What you think about this and that? And as we watched you and saw
Yeah.
your fight and your
Yeah.
consistency and
Yeah.
what you really stood for and fought for and
Yeah.
who you was just real. We
Yeah.
was like, oh yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I was hurt with Sheldon, but I understand at that point, like we
Yeah.
don't know. You know what I'm saying? We new to this. You understand? But
Yeah.
my thing is, my thing is like, who is going to do the work to get these people out? And at that time, it was like, this lady's lying in Texas, Jasmine.
She
Here's
a
this
mess.
guy, So I wanted to speak about that, but it wasn't. I'm gonna say it wasn't the time because
Yeah.
it couldn't have
Mhm.
been the time because we had to focus on
Well,
this state, this
y'all
city. You
got
understand?
more than enough on your plate with Chicago.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. So shout out to Sheldon. Is his name right?
Sheldon. Yeah.
Sheldon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah,
He's running against her pastor now. You know her
he's running
pastor.
against her pastor now.
Her
Yeah,
Oh
because
pastor.
they
God, come on.
redistrict.
We
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotta get
right.
Well, and
Sheldon
she's running for
in.
Senate, so now her pastor's running for TX30.
See, they just keep, like you said, they keep putting people in place. They just keep
Okay.
to keep the
Yeah.
corruption going.
Keep the
Yeah.
corruption going.
Oh
They
my God,
always
musical
talk about it
cheers.
ready.
All right. Well, it's one. Okay, we did 1 hour and 26
Okay,
minutes.
actually,
Where can they find? Where can people
Yeah.
find you, Christian?
You can find me on X at the Mod Pun, so it's MODPUN, and then on TikTok at the Mod Pun. But my website is unitecd1.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
And please let us know what you need from us.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as supporting you, getting out
Yeah.
here, because yeah, we're supporting you. We want you to win
Appreciate
Congressional
that.
First District. I will do my part on my research for Jonathan Jackson.
Yes.
because
I'm
he's a
almost
piece of
done.
trash. He's a piece
Yeah,
of
yeah.
trash.
So when I do my famous Friday on him, I would
Yeah.
like you to be a part of that.
I would love that.
Yeah.
So
I would love that.
So
And then the thing I need help with right now is I got to start phone banking. That's some of that old school campaign work. Now I'm like, we all love social media, but now I gotta combine it with some of those real traditional
yes,
components because our older voters, they want a phone call. So if I'm gonna be getting a phone banking event going in probably mid-February. So if you all could just help me like raise visibility for that so I can have a good amount of volunteers to phone bank and call voters, that is one of the biggest things we can do.
okay. So
okay,
you all here.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll help you, and you all here. So if
Yeah.
anybody on here want to, help, you can get in touch with Christian with the
Yes.
information she gave you, and just say, "Hey, Christian, I want to help.
Yeah.
Help. I want to volunteer to help." You can be in any other state. It don't. I mean, yeah, it don't
Yeah.
matter if you're here in Chicago
Yep.
to help with phone
You don't have to be in
calls.
district. Yeah, you don't have to be
Yeah,
in
to
district.
help with the phone calls and everything.
Yes.
And yeah, so that's yeah, Christian. We're gonna push. What is it, March 17th that we have for to get you on that
Primary. That's the primary.
yeah, primary.
That's
To
the
get you
first.
on
That's the
primary.
first
step.
part. The first leg,
Yeah,
and the second leg is getting her through
That's the real
yeah.
leg.
November.
So
And
listen,
I believe
guys.
it. I believe that we have a strong. You are a CFR candidate, so when we do our
Yay.
this thing, so I do believe that you're gonna win, and we're gonna help. As much as possible.
Yeah.
Keep God first. Keep the facts first.
I am.
Ignore the negativity
I
because,
am.
and I know it's hard. I
Because
know
it's
it's
coming.
hard. but we in first place, and
Yeah,
that's the problem. So just keep at it. Get you some security.
I am.
Okay, if your husband can't be around, but also even when he is around,
I know.
get some security.
Yeah. Same for you
And
all.
yeah,
Yeah, and
so
pray. Yeah, yeah.
and prayer.
And we need everybody. This is how, okay, because we know they cheat, guys. This is what we are combating. Listen, we need everybody to please go register to register as a Republican.
Yeah.
And I know you all saying I just can't do it, but it's sending a clear message to let them, just like we just saw that. What is it? North Carolina flip red. Was it? Is it North
Yeah, they don't
Carolina?
want to talk about. They
They don't
don't want
want
to
to talk
talk about
about
it.
it. And how they flip red is, guys, that everybody register as a Republican. So they flip red and they not telling you about it. North Carolina did something that history, because and they did it through register Republican. So when you have that, guys, it's so hard for them to cheat, because it's like, okay, how is this many people registered as a Republican, but y'all had all these Democrat voters to vote in? Come on, it's not adding up. So please, guys, it's so important that you go register, and please register as a Republican.
And pull a Republican
Please.
ticket for primaries. If you go into a location and they try to give you a Democratic ticket for the primaries, like you can actually report it to the Chicago GOP. But when you go in there, you got to ask for a Republican ticket, because they're not going to just give you one. You have to ask for a Republican ticket so you can vote in the Republican primary, not the
Yeah.
Democratic primary. So it's separate, because you can't vote in both.
Yeah,
See,
they do it
see.
on purpose like that.
And they keep telling us, oh, it's nonpartisan. You don't have to do it. Yeah, they keep doing that, but they won't tell you
But
to go get.
for the general though, they'll have everybody.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
But for
general,
the
you see
primary,
everybody.
this is the problem. You have to make sure
You have to choose a Republican ticket. And that is what, like Danny says, that starts to build up that Republican base, where it's like, oh, this many people pulled a Republican ticket. And that's how you see that growth, and what really helps to drive,
And if they don't do it, report it to GOP.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Chicago GOP
And you're going to
polls
need your
nationwide.
own. Have you started getting volunteers for like the poll watchers and stuff like that?
That's what I'm working on right now, is people who can chase the ballot, and then people who can help to get out the vote. And I'm also trying to figure out a way to get people to the polls. So, Democrats have funds, so they can bus people in, and, they do all types of stuff. But if there's anybody who has a bus company or anything of that nature, like, I'm looking for people who can help me get people to the polls. I'm researching if I can pay for people's lifts to get to the polls. Like, I want people to get out and be able to actually vote on election day. And I know that there's a lot of different ways people go about it. So we just got to use as many tools.
We'll talk about that off camera, but
Yeah. Okay.
we,
One more thing. One question that was very important. Davidson said, "How can we change our registration if we are already registered as a Democrat?"
So in Illinois, you're not necessarily registered as a Democrat, but when you go and you pull a Republican ticket, that automatically kind of switches you in people's system. Because the one thing I learned, guys, is that when you run for office, you can see how everybody voted. I can see everybody's, like, if it's in my area, I can see people's voting record. Like, they can see if you pull, what primary you vote in. And once you vote in a Republican primary, that switches you to being a Republican in the state. So pulling that Republican ticket, and it's actually a private process, it kind of, it comforts people, like your neighbor wouldn't know. But if you pull that Republican ticket, that is what switches you over to being a Republican in the state behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. To go in and just ask for a Republican ballot, and then that automatically switches you over. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And it puts you on people's radar, so they can see if you're a soft Republican, hard Republican, like soft Democrat, hard Democrat. Like, I learned a lot.
Okay.
They check my whole voting record and everything. Like, nothing is that private. That's why the unions can harass their workers like that, unfortunately, because they have access to voter data and all of that, sadly. But if your union is bullying you, you need to reach out and let people know, because we can air them out. Don't let your union bully you into voting Democratic. Because I know I had people sign my petitions, and they told me, they said the union wants us to vote this way, and it's not working. Don't let your union bully you. Don't let them.
Don't let the union, because it's only for the union leaders, so they can do mixed politics with this, and they're not supposed to do that. So we're gonna, like I said, they're next. SEIU, United Working Families. I'm coming for that booty. And because I can't say the way I want to say.
It's okay.
So all
So
right.
This is
please
good.
Well,
share this video.
I'm
Please
sharing it.
share.
Yeah, this is good.
And Captain, hashtag Christian Maxwell for Congress, her hashtag on the video. Please share, guys. Get the information out.
yeah, get the information out and all hands on deck.
All
And
hands on deck.
yes, thank you. Thank you for this. Thank y'all for listening to
No,
Famous Friday. Thank you for the we got some good, got good,
this was
nice.
good.
We got up to
Good.
304. So thank you
This is
very much.
huge.
And I know
Yeah.
that we will share this, keep it out there, and we will make sure that you come back after you win the primary.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's
All
do
right.
it. All
All
right,
right.
y'all. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye bye,
Okay.
guys. Love you all.
Bye bye.